Hello and welcome to another episode of Voice of Crypto, where we talk about Web3, blockchain, metaverse, crypto, and everything in between. And today I have a very special guest. And while I was talking to her, I there's an interesting story which we'll talk about as well. So welcome on the podcast, Divya Prashant. Thank you for coming in here.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
So
Abhishek.
Divya was telling me she is an artist by heart, but moved towards technology, and that's all what I mean. Her soul is of an artist, and her brain is of a technology geek. So, Divya, why don't you tell us about your interesting story?
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I think very early on I had to make a choice in terms of whether I take up art or technology, and I think at that point in time it definitely feel like technology was more sustainable. So I kind of pursued technology. And over the years, I built my career within the technology space, that is in data science and blockchain. And when this whole sort of NFT revolution happened, and the excitement that it kind of brought to the blockchain space, I saw it was art that was leading the way. But when talking to my artist friends, it became very apparent that they were literally feeling disenfranchised because, the concept of what is a smart contract, what is an ERC 721, what is an ERC 1155, what are they, what is a shared contract? When I put my art on a marketplace, will I lose it or won't I lose it? And there are people who are losing a lot of IP in the way they were going about creating these NFTs. And so that made me sit back and say, hey, we need to do something about this. And for me, it was a moment of wanting to pause and see what can be done to empower and enable artists, because this is one once in a lifetime opportunity where the artist again shines again. And that was the whole sort of um, uh, uh, thing behind me starting this platform. And so we started HQNFTs, which is a no-code platform where you can create NFT collections without a single line of code.
Great, Divya. So, I mean, for any guest who come on my podcast, I always ask this question, and I think this has been a common theme between all of us. Is none of us planned to get into Web3. It all happened because of an accident or an incident. So do you remember that precise moment, that precise incident slash accident, when you got into this rabbit hole and we all are in it together now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been following NFT from an analyst point of view, from a technology enthusiast point of view since about 2017. Yeah, 2000. I mean, I've looked at it more keenly from 2017. Well, I have, was aware of it maybe from 2013 onwards. And But I think the big change, really, the sort of shift to create this no-code platform really happened when I was at an event, and I had spoken at the event, and I came out of it, and I was having a conversation with a couple of artists, and they said, hey, can you help us? We just put our collection on a marketplace, and I think it's a shared contract, and we don't know how we can migrate these individuals to the metaverse. And then became very apparent that people are now stuck, because once they've done it, there's no, the second step becomes a little more trickier. While it is possible to still migrate people from the shared contracts onto, and get them give them access to the metaverse, it just became very apparent that there was a solution was needed there, where they needed to have their own contracts. It's got to be not as complex and difficult, and it's got to be easy. And that's really my sort of turning point I would say, because at that point in time we were actually building an analytical tool for valuation of NFTs. And when seeing that there was a need for a no-code platform, we literally had to pause and say, yes, I think we should investigate what is happening, what are the options that are out there. And that's how we went about the no-code platform. Yeah.
Okay, so when was your platform launched, Divya?
Yeah, so this the no-code platform was just recently launched in November. So it's been about a good, exciting 3 months or so. Yeah.
And the kind of traction which you're getting, is it only from the artist side, or brands are also coming in and they're understanding this platform and this whole new Web3 environment?
It's a very interesting question, actually. While we started for the artist community, we've branched out into phygital POAPs, audience management POAPs, and audience engagement POAPs. So we've done a few events where we've used these NFTs as audience engagement. So based on the unique traits on the NFTs, the there is people are given away free drinks, and in some cases, and in a couple of cases, given away free tickets to another event and such. So taking a completely new sort of form, which is very exciting, because at the end of the day, these applications only come alive when there is a need, and how the market kind of takes it and uses it.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree with you. And I think this is an entrepreneur's journey, which you said that we wanted to maybe create an analytics platform, but we saw an opportunity here. And once you have launched this platform, the product will, I mean, whatever we want this product to happen, lots of time we don't reach there, but there's a different thing which come all together. So I hope that is also going well in your artist and brand side as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
absolutely. So one of the most exciting projects that we did recently was we tied up with Scott Page from the legendary saxophonist from the Pink Floyd fame, and his NFT collection is going to the moon. So we actually worked on that collection, and these are actually phygital NFTs. So while the main art piece and the NFT was going to the moon, we created an entire collection, like a homage around
You
that.
mean to say it was literally going to moon,
Yes, it
or
is.
not in the crypto language?
No, it's literally
Oh,
going to the moon,
wow, wow,
on
wow.
a spaceship.
Uh-huh.
So it's very exciting. It's going on a SpaceX rocket, if I'm not mistaken,
Wow.
sometime in March. So there's a lot of excitement around it, and so we created like a whole collection as a homage collection for that particular launch. And it was a digital experience where people who came for that for the event on the day were given these NFTs away, and they were if you had a golden saxophone and a golden rocket and some other traits, then you got a free drink.
Wow.
So as you can see, there's a lot of how these things come about in terms of the applications. It is interesting, because it's at the end of the day, these things get molded and changed based on the need, and there is a huge need for audience engagement and audience management
Hmm.
sort of applications out there. While POAP is definitely a great way. Now with what we have, we can
Sorry,
take
Divya, I have
them.
to stop you. What is a POAP for all our
Oh,
users and me as well?
oh yeah, of course, of course. So it's POAPs. So POAPs are a type of NFT, which is a proof of attendance protocol.
Okay.
So meaning when you are at an event to kind of commemorate that event, or to kind of prove an attendance to that event, you get a proof of attendance NFT.
Hmm.
And so
So I have to be physically present there to
ideally,
get that
yes.
NFT. Understood.
Absolutely, you have to be physically present. So now we take that POAP to the next level, where using the proof of attendance protocol, we now engage with the audience.
Hmm.
So let's say we've created a collection of 100 NFTs, and there are 100 people within the audience. Now we can gamify it by saying, if you have a golden rocket on your NFT collection, then you get free drinks for the day.
Hmm.
And or if you have borders with golden edges, then you get access to the music, to the artist
Hmm.
who is in the house. So this is how you can gamify and
Hmm.
engage people using an audience engagement POAP, and that's really where we started getting into. And in many ways, we are probably the first to kind of use the PFP, generative art style NFTs, to create these POAPs. So
Hmm.
it's very easy and very seamless to create these engagements around the event.
Interesting. I think, yeah, I mean, this is what you and your team are creating, a real use case of NFTs rather than just putting monkey NFTs or monkey images everywhere. So, and I see this is just the start, Divya. I mean, obviously, once you explore these POAPs or these NFTs, more use cases will start coming in together for a fidget a kind of NFT. So, from your point of view, what are some of the interesting use case of these NFTs which you have seen or which you are creating or which you foresee should come, which people don't know yet?
Yeah. So for us, I think straight away this whole concept of physical digital NFTs is like a game changer, because firstly, people who are not Web3 savvy now get an idea. Oh, it is an NFT, and then I can actually scan it and I
Hmm.
can take it away,
Hmm.
and that is super powerful, right? And in terms of the innovations that might come through, my best guess is that there'll be there is a merger of this physical and digital world, and it's going to be in every sense. I think
Hmm.
there's going to be a physical, it could be a card, it could be the blockchain, it could be the metaverse, it could be the AR. So it could
Hmm.
be it's going to be
Hmm.
such a experience, such a holistic experience, that you could have cards which give you AR experiences.
Hmm.
You could have NFTs, audience management NFTs, that give you access into the metaverse and also into the real world. So
Hmm.
it's going to be that sort of merger of these technologies that is going to be the next step, I suppose. And
Hmm.
then what is very less explored is within the gaming space, how it's going to revolutionize, regular gaming, that is your football and our cricket and such.
Hmm.
There are already some, pioneers within the space who are already kind of doing great things, but that's
Hmm.
another sort of untapped. Well, gaming, as in your PC gaming, is of course been there, but the real world gaming and the
Okay.
digital world coming together is going to be a brand new experience.
Hmm.
And all of the classic use cases, like the use of fractionalization, within the art world or in the
Hmm.
real estate world, that those are some of the really unique sort of applications that are, some of them are experimenting with, some of them are really kind of succeeding with. So this is, over the next couple of years, we'll kind of, it'll play out, I suppose.
Hmm. So also Divya, I mean, a very big problem which I see is there are multiple NFT platforms, multiple chains, but and interportability is an issue. I mean, it is something like if I have a Leica mobile, I can only call to a Leica mobile user. I cannot call to somebody else. So where do you think from a technology point of view, and since you are in the industry, you talk to a lot of people, where are we on that growth? And do you foresee that this interportability will come in soon? And how many years do you think we still have for that?
So yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. So I think we are at the very basic level, with a lot of struggles at this point in time. There are very few, firstly, no code platforms.
Hmm.
There are loads of platforms which are low code, and they're really
Okay.
good ones. Some of them are
Hmm.
really good ones. But for an artist to just suddenly pick up something and move on, it's very difficult. But at
Hmm.
a developer level, it's much more easier.
Hmm.
So at this point in time, you are at a place where you have low code and capability for, sometimes, mostly most of these low codes are for specific EVMs or specific blockchains, and such. But now slowly you're seeing more of a chain agnostic. Like for instance, ours is a chain agnostic platform. So we do everything from Ethereum, Solana, and we're also doing the BSV chain. We just started work on the BSV chain. And so we are like sort of chain agnostic, but this interportability is an interesting aspect. And that's where, there's a lot of effort that needs to go into creating these bridges. There is a lot of projects that are in the space which are actually building these bridges. But I guess it's all about making it more accessible and commercialized. It's basically making it accessible. That's going to be the challenge. So we will know, I guess, in the next 1 or 2 years, the projects which have already started working on these bridges, or which are already in their initial stages, how they kind of mature. We'll have an idea in the next year or so, I suppose.
And Divya, how many NFTs do you hold, or how many NFTs collections have you purchased? Do you have some of those OG NFT collectors as well?
Unfortunately, I don't have any of the OGs. Let me be very honest, because I literally missed the boat with NFTs. I was seeing a lot of activity within the various spaces like
Looking from
the
the
club.
sideline as an
Yeah,
analyst,
yeah,
not
from the
as
clubhouse spaces or the spaces, and I was like, what is happening? So
right.
until I actually paused and I actually spent some time researching the technology, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Until then, I was like, okay, this is just a bunch of JPGs.
Right, right. So
So
hopefully you will create some new OG NFTs, and then you can hold them definitely.
hopefully we have some. What I want is I want people to come in and create collections and then to go on to become OGs. I'll be like super excited. I'll be super thrilled. So yeah, I mean, we've got some really good artists, some really actually, yeah, some very good artists have come on board and who are creating some amazing collections. So I'll be super thrilled if I can say that, through our platform, if an OG has come about, and they've done some great work within the NFT space. That'll be exciting.
So typically, and I'm now asking you to shamelessly plug in your product as well here. Typically, the question which I'm asking is, typically if I have to start this from scratch, let's say if I have the designs ready, I get the smart contract done, I get it maybe vetted from someone. What is the time period which takes in a normal time, and what time does it takes on your platform? What's the
Yeah.
time difference?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking at these generative art styles, right, your crypto plums, the Bored Ape,
Hmm,
so it would require a blockchain developer. It requires scripts that you need to understand.
hmm,
You should, there are GitHubs, but you should know what is in
correct.
it.
Hmm,
You've got to create these layers. You've got to create layers in Photoshop or Blender. So it requires about 3 types of skill sets, and it will minimum, if you're just starting from scratch, to understand the whole concept of how these things work, it'll at least take you 2 weeks minimum. And in our platform, as long as you have the Photoshop layers or the Blender layers, right,
hmm.
and the traits ready, it's a matter of 15 minutes to create a collection of one. Oh, sorry. It's
Sure,
a matter of simply sorry, I'll stop.
sure,
I'll just say this again. Yeah. I'm just going to switch it. I'm so sorry.
sure. No
Shouldn't have
worries.
happened.
No worries.
Just gonna, yeah. Sorry. So the question again, I'm so sorry. Apologies. What is the question? Sorry.
Yes. So the question is, what is the time? Uh, so let's take it from three levels. What is the time which somebody will take from starting from scratch? What is the amount of skill set? And if they have to, let's say, hire resource, as you said, there are multiple skill sets required.
Yeah.
What is that it'll take for somebody to go from a traditional point of view, whereas coming to a no-code platform like yours?
Yeah, great. So normally in terms of skill sets, you're looking at a blockchain developer, an artist, and even a data scientist, because you need to analyze the rarity when you're making it public, right?
Hmm,
So you're in terms of technologies, you would probably need Blender or Photoshop or similar technology to create those layers. And then you need a developer to help you with both the blockchain aspect of it and also the web aspect of it.
hmm,
And then last but not the least, you need to check out the rarity within your collection. So you need a data scientist or an analyst,
hmm,
basically,
hmm,
business intelligence person to do. So within our platform, all of this, and in terms of the cost, they can be anything from 5,000 to 10,000 pounds quite easily, and
hmm,
timelines are also quite about 2 weeks is what it takes. So on
hmm,
our yeah, so on our platform, as long as there is the NFT layers that are available, then it's just straightforward, where you just go to the platform, plug in the layers, define your rarity within the layers, and we also have a calculator where you can calculate so if you want to create a collection of 1,000 NFTs, it'll tell you how many layers you need and how many
Ah,
NFTs you need.
interesting.
Yeah. So we have a lot of options, and then and along with that, once you're ready with your layer calculation, you have your layers ready. Just plug it through the platform, define the rarity, run the NFT engine, and it stitches all these layers together, creates unique, combinations, with different rarities and different traits,
Hmm.
and spits it out, puts it on the IPFS and the blockchain of your choice. So at this point
Hmm.
in time, we do Polygon, Ethereum, and we also do Solana.
Hmm.
And we're also adding the BSV chain as well. So, and all of this happens in under, say, 15 minutes or so.
Wow. Wow. So you
Yeah.
just have to go and sell it. You don't have to waste your time, or I would say invest too much time in creating this. Just plug and play and sell it. Wow.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you if you look at most of these projects, you have to put in that time for community building. And if you're
Correct.
spending 2-3 weeks just creating the NFT or
Yes.
talking to resources, it's just impossible.
In the
And
meantime, the market can go from up to down, so you never know. So it's
exactly, yeah. So you just take
correct.
your eye off the ball, right? So
Correct.
in that way, this is how we can just speed up and take away the pain. And the beauty of our NFTs is that the contract that you create is an ERC 721 if it's an EVM or such
Hmm.
chain, and then you can own it. It's your contract, so it's not a shared contract. It's not.
Ah,
So that's the
okay.
beauty of it. So
Hmm.
if you don't want to sell it on the HQNFTs, that's perfectly fine. You can actually take it away and put it onto your
Let's
website,
see, right.
or you
Okay.
can go to another marketplace even. So the point was to be able to give power back to the artist. So it's like
Right.
I really believe that not your wall, not your seed phrase, not your coins. In a
Correct.
similar way, not your um, you know, contract, not your
Contracts.
NFT.
Correct. Wow. Interesting. Interesting, Divya. And I think this is really a game changer. And if you're saying it just take 15 minutes for artists, I think this will bring in a lot of artists from across the globe. Anybody who has an internet access can now and uh, come and sell their NFT. So I really think you guys are doing a fabulous job, and I'll also definitely test out your platform and see this. So as we come on the end of our podcast, Divya, uh, I have two hypothetical questions for you.
Mhm.
Question number one is, if I give you a time machine, and if you could go back in time 5 years, 10 years down the line, obviously I know you will purchase certain OG NFTs now, but what apart from that is what you would like to change?
So is that always what happens? I want to buy some Bitcoin.
Correct. No, apart from that, apart from getting into FOMO, what would you do?
I think I would have paid more attention to the blockchain space as not just as an analyst, but as a developer. Because I
Hmm.
really believe I could have made much more of an impact, even if I had gotten that early on, right? It's
Hmm.
2017. If I had known the power of what I'm looking at and understood the concept of the non-fungible tokens, I think I could have done so much more with the platform. And I just feel like, oh wow, I was literally staring at it and not paying attention for a good 3 years or so.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
No, that's
but of
that's
course.
that's perfectly fine. The way, at least I wrote a book in 2018 which was completely against digital currency. So you are definitely better than me. And then I changed my mind in 2020, and I publicly say that yes, I changed my mind, but it is a written format. So that's perfectly. I mean, I think we all are still very early in this industry, and probably what we are going to do will shape up the whole industry as we move forward. And coming to my second question, in the same time machine, if you can go back 10 years down the line, where do you see NFT? Where do you see your company? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah. So in terms of where I see NFTs, I think they are a game changer because while art must have really caught the imagination, it's going to be utilities that's going to play out in the future. It could be anything from fractionalizing real estate to art to some brand new concepts we might even not know at this point, especially because
Mm.
as the metaverse matures, we'll see more sort of new sort of utilities come through the way, I suppose. And in terms of for us and for HQNFTs, I mean, we really want to be the Wix, or we are the Wix
Wow,
of NFTs.
that's a
So for
good
digital,
good
yeah.
benchmark to have.
Yeah. So the digital for digital assets. So we want to be
Hmm.
able to democratize and bring more people into the space.
Hmm.
I'm always reminded of this conversation where, between David Letterman and Bill Gates, where he says, "What is the internet?" And now here we are. And he tried to explain. Bill Gates tries to explain it, but here we are, 20 years or 30 years from then, and we know that some of the biggest businesses are in the internet space, and now
Correct.
it's the next revolution where you can see
Hmm.
GPT and the
Hmm.
metaverse and the blockchain being the next sort of leaders in the space of technology. And yes, I feel that we want to be able to empower and enable people within the blockchain and digital asset space, and that's how we see ourselves in the next 10 years.
Wow. I think that's really a great benchmark to have. And as you said, you want to be the Wix, which is the simplest plug and play model,
Yeah.
which a lot of Web2 developers have understood. So I wish you all the best, Divya, and I hope in next 10 years you and your team also become the Google, Amazon, and Facebook of Web3, and
Oh,
creating this and uh, you helping a lot of people. And I really think that this is something which will actually bring a lot of revolution. So thank you for coming on the podcast, Voice of Crypto, and really thankful for your time here.
thank you so much for your time, Abhishek. It is really good to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you.